Hello, everyone. Welcome to GoLeopards.com. Gary Laubach along with Mike Joseph. We are behind the microphone one more time before we get ready for Georgetown coming to Lafayette. It's family weekend. I'm a little concerned about this football game, Mike. And first of all, I thought our effort last week was just outstanding. I thought that was as well as we've played all year long.
I think it was a great game in all three phases. I thought it was Andrew Shoup's most productive game, number one, and then I thought it was his most complete game as a quarterback. The way he took his checkdowns, he really took what the defense gave him. He took his shots when he had them. He controlled the offense. He didn't push anything or force anything. I thought it was a complete game all around.
Which makes me a little bit concerned about this week's game against Georgetown. They've knocked us off the last couple of years. Very tight ball games where we had opportunities to win them, but we didn't. And now we have Colgate looming the following week. And without question, Colgate is really, really playing great football. I get a little concerned about teams looking ahead, and I think this is one of those games that maybe defines trap game.
Yeah, and you and I have been talking about Colgate for the last couple of weeks, just watching how many points they've been putting up. And offensively, I know defensively they struggle a little bit, but offensively they're just explosive. So it's tough not to look forward. And as a former coach, you have to try to find a way to get your kids to focus on each day. And you do that through practice. You try to keep practices fresh. You try to keep them their skill levels fresh. Just really everything has to be focused on a day-to-day and then up leading to that game against Georgetown. I can't see how this is not a trap game, and I agree with you. But maybe the fact that we've lost 2 in a row to them and the fact that it's sometimes a little bit chippy of a game, I think might be able to make the difference for Lafayette to come out and really focus on Saturday night.
And I think if there's any sign you put up to motivate a team, very often coaches will put up signs. I would just put all over the place, Georgetown 21, Princeton 20.
Oh, wow. And that is amazing. And, you know, I watched that game on ESPN3, and Georgetown is so good on defense. And this is one of the better defenses I've seen. Obviously, we thought that same thing against Princeton. But tell you what, they have a couple guys, Wharton, McCabe, and, of course, Jeremy Moore, that are exceptional, and they're all athletic, and they're in the secondary where Lafayette kind of thrives on the edges.
Good news for Lafayette, too, and I think this has occurred on a couple of occasions this year. We have another very young quarterback. This kid's just a freshman, Kyle Nolan, got his first start last week, played well, no question about it, as he threw for 260 yards and 3 touchdowns. But John Luce's complex defense, particularly the play of our secondary, we've managed to kind of take advantage of the inexperience of some of the quarterbacks we faced this year.
Yeah, and if you're that quarterback for Georgetown, you got to be thinking this team has picked it off 17 times. Am I another victim of that? A 6'5" quarterback, excuse me, he's got to be coming in somewhat threatened by this defense. And John Luce has done a better job this year disguising some things. Coming out of preseason camp, they've disguised some coverages. They've moved the pre-snap, things like that, and that can only bode well for their defense against the freshman quarterback.
And I don't think you can leave a discussion with Georgetown without talking about Robert McCabe. 116 tackles. It's not the end of the season. We've seen people with 100 and some tackles at the end of the season. We're far from there.
Yeah, and Frank really gave him a lot of accolades. Just a terrific player. Always around the football. Jeremy Moore, always around the football. The offense for Lafayette has got their hands full with a defense that's very athletic.
Come out to Fisher Stadium. It's a 6 o'clock start. It should be a beautiful Saturday night for football. It's a big one. Georgetown, Lafayette on the Lafayette Sports Network. This has been Behind the Mic on GoLeopards.com.